Hello friends, in this particular video we are going to discuss about pancreas, which is a composite gland of your body and which can act as a exocrine gland or as a endocrine gland. So let me start with the heading named pancreas. So if we talk about the pancreas location, it will be located near your the intestine, where small intestine starts. With the first part of small intestine is called as duodenum, and there pancreas is located in the upper abdomen portion, or you can say near the lower side of your thoracic cavity. So this is the location about the pancreas. It is a composite gland. We call it a composite gland because it can act as exocrine as well as endocrine gland. So if you don't know what is exocrine and endocrine, let me just give you the hint about it. Exocrine means the gland will release the secretions on the surface, or either the surface will be outer or inner side of the organ. And the endocrine means they will directly secrete their secretions or hormones into the blood, and then those hormones will be transported to their target location through the blood. So endocrine glands are ductless glands. They secrete their secretion into the blood, and exocrine means they will secrete their secretion on the surface of the organ, whether that organ will be internal or external, right? So there, let me give just example of exocrine gland, that is sweat and the sebaceous gland present in your skin. So they will secrete the secretion on the surface of the skin, but it is not necessary that the exocrine gland will always secrete the secretion above the over the body, right? The outside the body, they can secrete the secretion inside the body organs or internal organs, but will not secrete into the blood. This is the exocrine gland. So both pancreas can act like exocrine as well as endocrine. That's why we are saying they are composite glands. If we talk about the tissues present in the pancreas called islets of Langerhans. Langerhans. So this name is by the scientist who discovered the this tissue. The islets of Langerhans are nothing but the patches of the tissues present in the pancreas, and they contains mainly two types of cells. If we talk about the number of islets of Langerhans, they are about 1 to 2 million islets of Langerhans present in the pancreas in the normal human being, and they consist of about 1 to 2% of pancreatic tissue, percent of pancreatic or pancreas, we can simply say. So they have the volume of 1 to 2% of total pancreas. So this is about the isolates of Langerhans. They have two types of cells. One is alpha cells and second is beta cells. Alpha and beta cells. So if we talk about alpha cells secretes a hormone called glucagon, and glucagon is nothing but the hyperglycemic hormone. Hyperglycemic hormone. Hyperglycemic hormone. What does it mean? Hyperglycemic hormones will, it is going to increase the glucose level into the blood. So whenever blood level should be in the glucose level should be increase in the blood, these glucagon will be secreted by alpha cells, and it is going to act on the liver cells, right? Liver cells, like in the livers. So it will start glycogenolysis, which means the breakdown of glycogen, so that uh, we all know that glycogen contains so much amount of glucose. So when glycogen will be broken down, it will come into the blood, and blood glucose level will be increased. So that's why we are saying glucagon is a hyperglycemic hormone which helps in the regulation of blood glucose level. Whenever your glucose level downs into the blood, glucagon will be secreted, and it will stimulate the glycogenolysis, means breakdown of glycogen. Also it can stimulate the glucogenesis, right, means synthesis of glucose, so that the glucose level should be increased. So it is going to increase the blood sugar, glucose level in blood, it is going to increase. That's why we are saying hyperglycemic hormone, which is a glucagon. The other type of cells are beta cells, which are going to synthesize and secrete the other hormone called insulin. And remember one thing, both are the hormones are peptide hormones. Peptide means C. Hormones can be made up of steroids or peptides, and peptide hormones means they will be having amino acid chains and proteins. They will be synthesized by the with the help of proteins. They are made up of proteins or small chains of proteins. That's why we are saying they are peptide hormones. We say peptide means the long or short chain of amino acids. Other type of hormones are steroid hormones. So this is the difference between peptide and steroid. Then other thing, B cells are going to secrete insulin hormone, which is also called as hypoglycemic hormone. Which means if you are consuming lot of sugar into your body, insulin will be secreted, and it will be responsible to lower the blood glucose level into the body, right? So that's why we are saying it is hypoglycemic, and it is going to decrease the glucose level. Glucose level will be decreased in blood. So it will again act on the adipose tissue and the hepatocytes, means liver cells, and they will it will stimulate the uptake of the glucose, so that blood should move from blood to the adipose tissue. Means adipose tissue is the tissue present in under your skin, which contains fat cells, right? So those cells are called as adipocytes, and the insulin will stimulate the adipocytes uptake of glucose, so that blood, the glucose present in the blood, the extra amount of glucose which is present in the blood, it should move from blood to the adipose tissue or hepatocytes, where that glucose will be converted to glycogen, right? So that glucose level of blood should be decreased. So that's why we are saying hypoglycemic hormone, which is insulin. So both are these hormones are regulating the blood glucose level inside our body, and they are both are necessary. If any of them is not secreting properly, it causes a disorder. Like we all know that some people have the disorder called diabetes mellitus. So, which is due to the lower secretion of insulin. So, whenever your body is unable to produce enough amount of insulin, or your pancreas are damaged, so it will not produce enough amount of insulin. So that's why the blood glucose level keeps on rising. So that's why the person suffers from the diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus. Okay, which suffers uh, when the blood glucose level is constantly rising and rising. So, and he or she also found some glucose in its urine. So this is all about the pancreas, its cells, and the hormones secreted by pancreas and the disorders. So I hope I have covered all the topics in the NCERT. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends. We will meet in the next video by studying gonads, which are also glands, because they secrete so many hormones. So we will discuss that in the next video. Till then, goodbye.